Tonight, the veil between worlds isn't just about ghosts and shadows. It's about the journey we've shared through them. From the chilling corridors of the Holzer Files to the haunted streets of Butte and ghosts of Devil's Perch to the relentless 28 days of terror inside some of the darkest houses in America. These stories have tested us, thrilled us, and forever left their mark. And now, a brand new chapter begins. Medium Cindy Kaza, tech Shane Pittman, and Dave Schrader are back, pulling back the curtain on our brand new TV series, Paranormal Mysteries, streaming exclusively on StreamBeaconTV.com. What makes this series different? What secrets still keep us awake at night? And which moments from our past cases continue to haunt us the most? We'll cover that and more right here on your home for everything paranormal. I'm Dave Schrader, and this is my Paranormal 60.
I'm not gonna stand here and listen to this baloney.
He won't float. He doesn't stand for baloney.
Sounds like a lot of supernatural baloney to me.
Supernatural, perhaps. Baloney, perhaps not.
Good evening, Darklings. Thank you for joining us here. My supernatural siblings are in the house. Shane Pittman, medium Cindy Kaza, myself, Dave Schrader. We are back, and this week we're excited because our brand new series premieres on Beacon TV. You can find more information at StreamBeaconTV.com or get the free app wherever you get your apps, whether it's Google Play, Apple Pod. I don't know all these places, Shane. You know, I'm very limited.
He's an old man.
Yeah. It's on your Viewmasters and slideshows. Go check it out. But we've got a lot of cool stuff happening. Let's start off real quickly. Let's give you all a taste of Paranormal Mysteries.
All right. I'm going to go back to the HQ. I'll be listening and watching like usual. If you need anything, I'm just a call away.
You don't have to be afraid of him anymore. He can't hurt you anymore.
Hey! What was that?
I've never had this happen before. I've lost time for a minute.
Any and all spirits of this land, any of the ancestors, something is upsetting the natural balance.
Hello? Oh my God.
Very cool. I'm excited to be back with these guys as we work through our brand new series. 4 people that have been living in a cave. Maybe they were visiting Mars or Uranus while they were on foreign exchange to another planet. Let's introduce everyone real quickly. Shane Pittman, you are the paranormal tech guru from the Holzer Files, the lead investigator of Netflix hit series 28 Days Haunted. Tell us a little bit about your first experience with the supernatural.
My first experience was when I was 6 years old. It was a dream or vision type thing that kind of was very impactful for me. And again, it'd take all day or all night to talk about it. But I went to my mom and told her about it. It was a very profound experience. And from there, I started having even more paranormal things happen in my life and started researching it. And here we are today.
Now, when you had that first experience, did you have any real grasp or concept of the fact that this was unusual, this was weird, not just a regular day for you?
Well, no, like I said, I was 6. So, I mean, this was very profound because I never had anything like that happen to the point where it felt like I was physically in this vision or dream. It felt that real. It felt like it was reality. So it jolted me to a point, even at that early age, of like, holy crap, this is something major, you know? And that one experience, like I said, just took me on a path of trying to figure out what that experience was all about and what more was out there, and kind of led me to present day and what we're doing now.
Did it frighten you off from wanting to explore this for a while, or was it something that once you had that experience, even at that young of age, you knew you wanted more answers?
Well, it did, because I was getting a lot of conflicting messages too, because I grew up in a really religious household. So a lot of the things that was going on in my life, I was told I was being oppressed. And, you know, there was things in my life that maybe I needed to get right as I got older. So it was conflicting, because some of the messages I was getting was, hey, you need to get your life right, because this is why all of these things are happening. The enemy or the devil is attacking you. And so it was it scared me off for a while, because I'm like, oh crap, I need to get my life right, because something, you know, I must be bringing this on myself, you know.
How much longer till you think you get your life right?
Oh man, I think we're way past that.
Very cool. Cindy Kaza joining us as well. She's a psychic medium. Cindy, of course, has been on the Holzer Files, Dead Files, Jack Osborne's Portals to Hell. She's been on every show, and it's because she is extremely talented, extremely gifted, and really good at getting to the bottom of these situations. And if you haven't seen her on all those TV shows, she's also done a handful of shock docs with Steve Shippey, examining serial killers and kind of the stories surrounding those cases. Cindy, were you born mediumistic? I know that your thought is we all have this inherent ability, but was yours out to begin with, or did something draw it out of you?
Well, yeah, I do think we all have it. But I mean, I've been having experiences since I was really young. Think around, 10 is the first. I was 10 when I had the first experience I can remember. But I don't know. I mean, I think some of us just come in like more open, you know, a little bit more open to connecting with those frequencies. But I think we all have the ability to feel them.
Do you feel that as a child you were prepared mentally for this ability, or were you overwhelmed by it when it first started making itself known to you?
Yeah, it's really overwhelming, I guess. Insofar as it created a lot of anxiety. What a lot of people don't know is that when a spirit comes close to you, if you don't know what's happening and you're not familiar, it can make you feel like you're having an anxiety attack because of the way the energy hits your system, hits your aura. So I was going through all of that without knowing that I was actually just encountering spirits. And then there's also a part of me that, you know, I didn't know anything about mediumship. I grew up in a religious family as well. We didn't talk about that kind of a thing. And so I just thought that maybe this is how everybody went through life. You know, I didn't know what I didn't know, but I was also very confused. And, you know, now when I talk to people that come up, you know, they want to know about mediumship and their experiences, one of the most common things that they'll say is that they have debilitating anxiety. And then I find that once people start to embrace this connection, the anxiety gets better. It tends to get a little bit easier. So,
well, Cindy, you've been a teacher for a long time as well. If you're looking for high levels of anxiety, you've picked the two best partners to work with, because
I was going to say that. Yeah.
We are riddled with anxiety. So does that mean that we are closer to having abilities than we think we are?
Well, you both do have abilities. I've been telling you this since we started working together. I don't know why it's taking you so long to believe me. I mean, how many times do you have to get kicked by a ghost to get it, Dave? You know,
well, to me, doesn't mean I'm a psychic. It just means I'm a sucker, right? Ghosts are like, this guy's an idiot. Let's give him a shove. Right. And people are like, well, are you mediumistic? I'm like, no, I'm just a paranormal investigator. But have you seen ghosts? Yeah. Have you heard ghosts? Yeah.
So
Have
you're
have you been touched by a ghost? Yeah. I guess that's a medium-ish kind of thing. I just don't tap in like you do into that kind of vein, at least not knowingly.
Well, you've never really tried, right? Has anybody ever, told you, hey, Dave, why don't you do the walkthrough? That's going to happen on Paranormal Mysteries season 2. You guys are doing a walkthrough. I'm just going to be in the background. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I said, this is the way it's going to look. Dave and Shane are doing the walkthrough. Let's see what happens. Shane will be like, man, I'm picking up this little old lady and she looks like she's got a meat cleaver. And it'll cut back to Cindy and she'll be like, no, it's a 5-year-old boy with a rubber ball. That's the ghost in that room. Dave, what are you picking up on?
I do not.
I think there is a beaver, a giant beaver in this room. Cuts back to Cindy. It is definitely a Rottweiler. These two are idiots. I think that's pretty much how this is going to look like.
That would be how it goes, for sure. Yeah.
When you started kind of just accepting and allowing this to be a part of your world, were you open with friends and other relatives about your gifts and abilities, Cindy, or did you keep it to yourself for a while?
I kept it to myself for a little while, although, the people closest to me knew, because I decided to start studying mediumship. I was doing some readings, but I didn't put myself out there for a while. I was too scared. I was afraid that people are going to say that I was crazy, or maybe I thought I was crazy. Those are the two biggest fears people have. If they think if they open up, they're actually going to go crazy, or people are going to say that they're crazy. And it holds a lot of people back from trusting their experiences.
Do you have to engage both your visual perspective of the eyes and the mind, or when you see spirits, is it mostly coming from the third eye?
Oh, it's almost always coming from the third eye. I've seen in my life 2 full body apparitions. One when I was 10, one when I was 29. Other than that, it's in the mind. It's like if you think of an image of your loved one in your mind, somebody on the other side, think of it quickly, right? Okay, you got it? Then project that image to an area of the room, and that's how I see it. So when I say I'm seeing a woman standing over there, it's an image in my mind projected to an area of the room.
Okay.
I can see if they're walking. I can see sometimes what they look like. It depends. But a lot of times I feel more than I see, or I hear more than I see. So it really depends on the investigation. It depends on how I'm doing that day. Where am I at energetically? It depends on how the spirit wants to communicate with me. So as a medium, I have to be prepared to work with all of the different clairs. So the hearing, feeling, seeing, knowing, smelling, all the things, because one spirit can give you 5 different pieces of information 5 different ways. And then I have to figure out what they're trying to show me.
This might be too hard of a question to throw to you, Cindy, but I've always meant to ask this. When you think, right, you think of Sylvester Stallone, you can immediately hear his voice in your head, right?
Right.
If you're an old timer like me and you see John Wayne, you immediately hear his voice in that drawl. Mm-hmm. You see things like, I haven't watched a John Wayne movie in 20 years, but I can hear his voice. My mom passed away 9 years ago. My dad passed away not even 90 days ago, but I can't retain their voice. It's the weirdest thing. Like if I listen to a recording, I'm like, yeah, that's my mom, but I can't play it in my head. Do you have any idea? And I've spoken to some other people that are in the same situation. They're like, I can remember the most obscure cartoon voices and character voices from childhood, but I can't remember my own folks' voices.
Yeah, I don't really know, Dave. When and I'll just speak from my own experience, right? We've talked about this. My brother died a few years ago, and I just assumed that I would be able to feel his presence immediately after he died because I'm a medium and he was my closest family member. And I didn't feel a connection to him for 2.5 years. And it's very rare, and so it was really baffling to me. How could that be? It's like the cruelest joke on earth, right? Yeah. And so I don't know. I think maybe it can be part of the grieving process. Maybe that's just what it is. And you just have to be patient with yourself, because I think it will come when it's meant to come in. So, but I don't know, because my brother's death really threw all of these ideas or turned all these ideas that I had upside down. I had to like, what are you guys laughing at? Like,
I'm just as you're talking, put up some of the nice comments, and somebody said Shane is so handsome, and he got all blushy.
Hey, look at I'm blushing. I'm not blushing. I just got scrubbed at the Korean spa. I got a beat down today. It's like, oh my God. I don't know if you guys have had the body scrub at the Korean spa, but it's crazy. Anyway, so but anyway, I don't know. I really had to sit with myself and like just like go back and rethink rethink how I'm approaching these discussions, because I realize I really don't know that much. Like the more I learn, the less I know. Grief is a mystery. Grief is not linear. Grief takes you down some really funny paths that you're not prepared for, that you don't expect. And I'm just kind of open to all that insofar as it pertains to my connection to my brother in the spirit world too.
All right. Yeah, that's been a strange thing. And talking to my aunt, even, she's like, your mom comes to me in dreams, but she never speaks. And the one thing I haven't asked my aunt is, do you remember her voice? Because part of it is, I wonder, when we have these moments, my grandfather's voice is etched in my head. And when I had a visitation and he spoke to me, it sounded like my grandfather. I don't know, it's just so weird, right? The whole paradigm of the supernatural and paranormal, it follows no real rules.
It doesn't.
Outliers.
Yeah. And so actually, sorry to cut you off. I was just thinking as you were talking, your aunt had that dream, right? And then saw your mom and said she wasn't saying anything, right? And It's because we are expecting them to communicate with us like I'm communicating with you. And what a lot of people don't understand is spirits communicate really well through just feeling. So if you're a feeler, you can feel the entire message without seeing anything. So we have to be open, and we can't assume that they're going to talk like I'm talking to you. And so what I would say is, well, you saw her, but how did you feel? And then if people can remember how they felt in the moment, there's a message inside of that feeling. And I almost wonder if part of your process with losing your father and losing your mother and is to learn how to communicate through feeling rather than just through the mind. Heart connection as opposed to mind connection. That's a teacher.
Yeah,
that's a really good point. I was going to say something similar too. Like they may be communicating with us in different ways other than just the vocal aspect of things. And maybe like if we can focus on how they made us feel, like Cindy was saying, that's another connection we can tap into.
Yeah, it's the most powerful one. The feeling is the foundation of all of them. I am a firm believer in that, because even if you don't recognize the feeling initially, like for example, if an energy is coming into your auric field, your aura has to brush up against it or feel it before it can become a clairvoyant image. So you might not recognize it until it becomes the image, but the feeling is the foundation.
Chris from the chat room says, we just lost a kitten today. My heart is broken. Do you believe that pets can become ghosts and spirits too, Cindy?
100%. I bring them through at my events. I've been trying to do it a lot more because I don't know, they're family, some people would much rather talk to their pets than their human family. You're like, I bring the dad through, and then the dog comes through, and they're like, oh my God. And so, it's like they're happier. But I've been trying to really focus on that, because there's so much healing. Animals give us so much. They give us so much love. They are too good for us, quite frankly, Yeah. And they do go to the other side. I mean, actually, I did an event last night, and one of my connections was there was I could hear clairaudiently, like if you were to sing the words to your favorite song in your head. So just know that that's how it is. I could hear a man saying, over here, Trixie, or something. That was like the dog's name. Come on, Trixie. And I was like, oh, he's calling a dog. And then I saw the dog run by. And so long story short, there's a woman in the audience who had a dog named Trixie, who's in the spirit world, whose dad is also on the other side. So the dad was calling the dog in the spirit world. They were coming through together. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Chris Fleming and I were in Seattle, Washington at I don't know what it's actually called. They called it the Bubblegum Theater. When you go there, people take their gum out and stick it on the wall outside the theater. So the whole wall is just icky, gross bubble gum, but it's cool looking. It's very, interesting. And we went in, and it was one of those things where at the end of the night, you're kind of out of questions to ask the spirit realm. And we had the spirit box going, and all of a sudden, very clearly, you hear whoa, 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 in the, like, coming from the spirit box. And Chris got very excited. He goes, oh, there's a dog on the other side. Whoa, 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 whoa. And everybody got really excited. And I'm like, that's awesome. And when we all heard it, and I'd never heard a dog come through any of the devices. And then I said, I wonder if there's any cats on the other side. And I kid you not, we had like a 5-minute hard laugh, because there's this pause. And then you hear a man with the snarkiest of voices go, meow. And we just burst out laughing, and the whole crowd just cracked up. I was like, maybe cats, God might still be kind of putting them through a trial basis. They try to kill us on a daily basis. But yeah, cats and dogs. I've encountered ghosts on both sides of that. My dog that passed away, Walker, who was my dog for many years, and then went to live with my parents in her golden years. When she passed away, she was a panter, a heavy panter, and she'd climb up on the bed and drive my mom and dad crazy, because she'd for about 5 minutes and the whole bed would shake. And about a few days after she was gone, both my parents sat up because they felt the bed bounce, and then they could feel the panting of the dog. They could feel that rocking, and they were like, holy cow. So that's pretty neat. I've seen cats darting around, and I did a psychic development thing back in 2006. Hanaki Azetic and a few others had run this deal out at the Thayer's Bed and Breakfast. And Sharon Gamble, who owned it at the time, had these big, fluffy Angora cats. And I'm not a cat guy, but that, of course, is just like the non-smoker. Immediately, the smoke is going to go right to me, as are the cats. So her live cats kept crawling all over me, and my eyes are puffing up and drizzling and everything, and they wouldn't leave me alone. I'm petting them because I am an animal guy. But later on, they get all the cats out of this giant room, and we're all laying down spread eagle on the floor, and they're drumming and chanting, and we're supposed to be just kind of focused into the darkness, trying to connect with our spirit guide. And like 15-20 minutes in, I'm getting nothing. No spirit guide, no tunnel of light, no voices. But this cat starts bumping my thigh like a cat does. It starts hitting me with its head, and it's pushing up against me. So I reach down and I kind of pet it behind the head and neck a little bit. And then I give it a little push, because I'm like, come on, I'm trying to focus and get in touch with my spirit guides. And I'm laying there, and about 5 minutes later, boom, it's over there pushing against my arm and leg again. And because it's an Angora cat, they have the thick
Yeah.
hair. And I'm digging in on that hair. And this thing, I can feel it vibrating, the purr. I can hear it up against my hand as I'm petting it. It's just
Where's this going?
right. It's so crazy. And then I'm like, at one point, I'm like, oh, screw it. I'm not going to connect. And I open my eyes, and my hand is just petting the air. And I
Whoa, weird.
I'm like, what the hell? Afterwards, the woman that had been laying off to my side comes over to me, and she goes, you were getting harassed by the ghost cat, weren't you? And I'm like, what are you talking about? She goes, oh, you can't lie to me, because it was driving me nuts all night. And then I'd open my eyes, and I see you over there scratching it, and then you push it. And
Can you imagine the view of that?
Into her. So that blew my mind, completely blew my mind.
See, you're a medium, Dave. Dave Schrader, pet psychic.
Yes. Start taking my courses. Dave Schrader, how not to know you're a medium. That'll be my my new deal. Now, Shane, speaking of which, obviously on the Holzer Files, you had a very niche position. You were our tech guru, our
Now he's a mogul.
Right. Now you're a mogul. You've moved up in the world. Meanwhile, I'm working part-time at Denny's for the senior brunch time. But you jumped over to 28 Days Haunted when the Holzer Files went away. Yep. And you became the lead investigator on that. And you went in with Ray and Amy, a medium. But you had a very crazy awakening during that episode, or during that season. Am I right?
Yeah, man. So if people don't know about the show, basically a quick premise is stayed 28 days in a haunted location. And the theory was the longer you stay in a location, the more activity happens and the more you kind of tap into whatever's going on. And after about 7 days, I started having really vivid dreams about these girls that were murdered in this home in the 70s. At the time, I had no clue about this because we were blindfolded and sent to this place, and we weren't even told where we were going. So it was a really weird experience, man. It was something that, of course, it was like a full circle moment going back to when I was 6, having a really vivid dream or vision or whatever. But I kind of put that in the back of my mind, that experience when I was 6. But this time when I was in that location at the Lumber Baron Inn, it rocked my world, man. And I remember messaging or texting Cindy after all of this, and I was like, look, I've had some really weird shit happen, or stuff happen, excuse my language, and I don't know how to process this. And she kind of helped and walked me through it. But yeah, it was something that I'm still dealing with to this day. I still have dreams that are really freaky and scary. So
Yeah, and that place, I've been to that place. I lived in Denver for like 4.5 years, and Joel and Elaine, who used to own the Lumber Baron, I used to go there and do events. That upstairs room where the
attic.
Yeah, like where they had like the stage and stuff. I've done events there, but that place is interesting. I mean, that it's definitely haunted. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it legitimately rocked my world. I have never experienced anything to that level before in my life. And the fact that these visions or dreams or whatever they were dead on with past newspaper articles from the 70s and all of that. I mean, I remember sitting there, and we had 2 of our producers after the 28 days, and we were wrapping everything up, and they sat me down and they were like, Shane, we got to talk to you. And I was like, oh crap. First thing I thought was, is something wrong with my family? Because see, we had no contact with our family. So I was expecting the worst, that something was going on with them. And one of the producers had tears in his eyes, and he's like, Shane, I did not believe in this stuff. Just full transparency. I did not believe in this. I took on this job because, I was experienced in making shows and all of this. And he's like, but your whole experience has changed my entire perspective. And he took out newspaper articles and started showing me. He was like, Shane, all these dreams that you had verbatim, they're in these articles. And I've never seen anything like this before.
See? Too. Look what's happening here.
It's hard for me to say that, but yeah, I mean, I can't explain that. I can't explain that experience other than it was real. It was something that has rocked me. It rocked the producer to the point of tears. So it was such a rewarding experience, but it scared me. To this day, it still scares me. That whole, I guess, awakening or whatever you wanted to call it. It's scary. It's really scary.
Is it now that it's been awakened into you, do you wish you could shut it down, Shane, or do you want to just continue to let it grow and embrace it?
Well, it's kind of a little bit of both, like, because the dreams that I do have now, sometimes they are scary. And again, sometimes I'll talk to Cindy about it and be like, look, what does this mean? Does this mean anything? Do I need to take every dream I have as verbatim? Like, do I need to focus on every single one of them or what? So a lot of these dreams are like visitations, like from people I don't know. Like, we'll walk by my bedside, and some of them look happy. Some of them look confused. Some of them look terrified. And so in that sense, I want to, if I can help, to try to help. But on the flip side, it's like, I would prefer not being scared crapless, 2 or 3 times a week, at night. So it's kind of a double-edged thing. I don't know.
See, my fear from holding off on it, Cindy, I'll be 100% honest with you, is, okay, I get it. Obviously, there are abilities here, latent mutant abilities that Shane and I have. My fear of embracing it is just watching the way the fans react whenever an investigator starts becoming more aware and sensitive. every one of them get attacked on TV. They're like, oh, now you think you're Cindy, huh? Now you're going to try to take her business out. It's
Well, you guys can't be me. I'm me. You
right,
be
exactly. But it's kind of funny. I'm always worried people are just going to think I'm trying to scam them if I start talking about being sensitive. So that's why I couch it as I'm a paranormal investigator who just happens to be lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time and have experiences.
I mean, look, I'm a paranormal investigator too, and I'm a medium. And it's like, you know, here's the thing. I've always found it really kind of funny that this divide that exists between mediums and paranormal investigators, not with us, but like, you know, this is why I was so hesitant to even do paranormal investigation, is because there's so many paranormal investigators that think mediums are fake, which I think is crazy, you know? Yeah. Because I believe if you are drawn to the paranormal, you are really drawn to the paranormal. There's something inside of you that connects to the spirit world. Like maybe you're looking for it through EVPs or gadgets or whatever, but it's still there, you know? So I don't know. Embrace it. I say season 2 Paranormal Mysteries. We're gonna mix it up. Be a mixed bag.
Yeah. And we've got a lot of opportunities for you to come out. And 2026 is shining. We've got a lot of cool events that the three of us are going to be doing together. Some that we'll be hosting, some that we're being hosted in for. So keep an eye on darknessevents.com, and you get a chance to see us. As a matter of fact, there's one more chance to see us in full investigative mode this year at the Shanley Hotel
on our birthday. Yeah.
Cindy and I are turning 30 this year. Yep. On our birthday, November 22nd, and we are going to bring along our little brother Shane to investigate the Shanley Hotel. I think there's 2 rooms that are still open for the Friday night. There are 2 different days. There's Friday and Saturday, and if you just want to come and hear the presentations, gallery sessions, things like that, you can do that. If you want to come be a part of the investigation and spend the night, you can do that. There's information on the website at darknessevents.com. And for those of you in Kentucky, we just put pen to paper on something that's pretty exciting. We'll be coming out with in December. I don't know. Is there enough meat on the bone to tell them now, Cindy?
You can tell them. The tickets just aren't up yet, but they should be up soon. December 14th, we will be doing an event in Lexington, Kentucky at Comedy Off Broadway. It's a comedy club. We're just using the venue. I work in comedy clubs doing mediumship. I've been doing it for years. So it's a super fun location. We're going to have an evening with the stars of Holzer Files and Paranormal Mysteries, being us. So we're going to have a panel. We're going to do Q&A. I'm going to do some readings. It'll be a really fun night. And it'll be full of laughter too. I think you guys are going to thrive in that environment, Dave.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to getting out there. That's in November and December. So there are still chances to see us. We won't be investigating with the December one, but we will be in November. But it's still a great chance to come on out, see all 3 of us, get to meet and greet, and we'll do pictures and hang out with you as well. We have to take a quick break. We'll come back. We've got more to discuss right here. Paranormal mysteries abound, and we've just gotten started on the Paranormal 60.
How are you, Darklings? This is Mark Lanou, innovator, musician, world traveler, and no stranger to the paranormal. Come take a journey with me through this place we call life by picking up my new book, Reality Was Once the Tapestry of the Dreamer. It is available at Barnes & Noble online and will soon be available through other vendors. Get your copy by following the link in this ad or by visiting my official website at markallenlanou.com.
We are excited to be back together this Friday. September 26th premieres a brand new series with your favorite paranormal team back together again. If you loved us on the Holzer Files, Ghosts of Devil's Perch, 28 Days Haunted, you're going to love us on Paranormal Mysteries on Beacon TV. It's an original series, and this time we're not just holding ourselves to the ghosts. We're going to be investigating all kinds of strange claims, monsters, myths, legends, spirits, strange beings from other planets. You just never know what's going to happen when our team gets together, but we're excited to open this new set of files for ourselves. This time we're not walking in anybody else's shadow. It's a time for us to step forward and open our own investigative files, talking about some cases. And there are some really powerful stories this year that, as a matter of fact, Shane, I think it's episode 3. We're going to visit the Pauley Jail in Alabama. and that's the site of your first professional paranormal experience, correct?
Yeah, it was the first time I branched out on my own to try to figure out what all of this was about, and had a very impactful moment. I was all by myself, which was stupid of me to do, but I did it. And yeah, so you got to stay tuned for that episode to find out a little bit more about that story. So,
and you're going to all be happy to know, I think we get through the entire 6-episode arc without Shane and I crying at all this time.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I didn't even think about
I
that.
know, I mean, I came close, but a couple of times, but yeah.
Yeah.
you're right.
No tears this time. Maybe next season. We'll see. We'll see if it happens. However, there was, I'm really excited about this. Our first episode is a 2-parter. So the first episode airs this Friday at Ashmore Estates in Illinois. And it's weird because my cousin Scott owned Ashmore Estates for many years, and I never got a chance to visit. I worked behind the scenes on Ghost Adventures as a location scout, and I actually got them to go film an episode, and which really kind of helped put Ashmore Estates on the map for paranormal investigators. But it was such a weird time. I just never got a chance to go out there and investigate it. So we get a chance to visit. Part 2, we find out that the story is much bigger than one location. And there is something involved in part 2 that is one of the more disturbing elements so far in my paranormal career, because, and this is a brilliant reason why Cindy doesn't like to know things going in, because of how it can influence you as an investigator and a medium. When people's expectations and stories are put out there and you're fed that, sometimes you begin leaning into it. And I realized that at some point during the second episode, my boogeyman was trying to come through, or something pretending to be my boogeyman. And that was a weird moment. I know our director was kind of flipped when I just said, hey guys, at one point I got to recuse myself. I need to leave for a while. And I just had to fade out. But that was insane. All the episodes have really interesting stuff. The Pauley jail, I'm excited to see the one piece of footage play again, because I haven't seen it since we filmed it. But when we were in the jail, and I won't say much about this,
Oh,
but
yeah.
one of the prisoners on Christmas Eve.
Don't tell the story.
Okay. He has
Hold it in.
very bad thing happen. And hence being a ghost now. And we decided to use a trigger object that suddenly comes to life. And it was the coolest and weirdest thing, hands down, I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm psyched about
that. That was weird. That was so weird.
Is there an episode specifically in this first 6 of our new series, Cindy, that stood out to you the most?
Oh, they're all so different, you know? They're all, I can't say. Okay, Ashmore Estates, I think the most haunted place I've ever been, hands down.
Yeah.
But I loved all of them for different reasons. The stories are all unique, I think. I can't, I really can't pick, because I like all of them for different reasons.
Yeah. Or a shrine too, to go out on that high note. Holy cow. That was a place I didn't see coming. And when Shane's like, y'all, there's just like this Shindo temple in the middle of Tennessee. You got to come see this. It's a weird,
interesting place, man. That place is interesting.
Yeah. That was exciting. I love when there's places like that, those little golden nuggets that some people know about, but I don't feel has been exposed enough. And the people that are there are remarkable. We had a lot of help in that episode from investigators and Wiccans and different belief systems and theologies. That one, I don't know. I'm really psyched about this series. People go, is it going to be as good as Holzer Files? It's interesting because when you hold something up, I mean, we're really kind of, we're comparing apples to
It's a different show, but I think it's just as good.
Agreed. And so far, we did a special screening today for a couple that purchased for a charity, Gettysburg. I think it was Gettysburg. We were helping to raise money for wounded warriors and for children to have their Make-A-Wish. And we auctioned off an opportunity to watch the first episode with us like this, where we did the video screening today. And it was really sweet to hear that the couple said they like this better than Holzer Files. So that's a great opening, and I'm psyched. And then we got a chance to do a big screening of it in Phenomicon with 85 of our closest new friends, and I love that the reactions were so genuine, and there was laughter at the right moments and curse words at the right moments and some sounds at the right moment. So I'm really excited to see how people take to this new series, and where it goes from here. Shane, people are just excited about the fact that there's a new home for paranormal, true crime, and horror movies, right? I mean, that's what Beacon TV is now. You guys are really building this to kind of be a one-stop shop for all of the most thrilling and fun and bizarre type of programming.
Yeah, we're super excited. And the whole reason why we created Beacon TV was because we wanted to give you, the viewers, what you want to see. I know a lot of you have been starving for a lot of your favorite shows that, you know, unfortunately has been cast aside for the time being. And we want to kind of bring those shows back and bring new and exciting shows back to you. And we're super thankful. We can't do any of this without all of your support. And even Paranormal Mysteries and us doing what we're doing with that, we wouldn't have been able to do that without all of you. So we really do appreciate you.
Yeah.
I'm super excited. This is the flagship show that's kind of Beacon TV's flagship show, which I'm truly honored to be working with my family on that. And I don't know about you guys, but when we got back out into the field, it's like we never stopped. Like it
was great.
It's like we picked up right where we left off. And I mean, it's been awesome. And I'm super thankful.
Me too. I'm excited for more.
I love the fact too that people still come up to us today at these conventions, and we've been doing a lot together, and they're like, "You guys are awesome. When is the new season of Holzer Files coming out?" And I'm like, "We've been off the air 5 years. What are you looking at? What do you think?" And but the people are so hungry, and they keep finding it in reruns on Tubi and Travel. And I know they just did a little mini marathon on Travel Channel recently.
Oh, they did?
And and for Ghosts of Devil's Perch that Cindy and I worked on. So things keep popping up, and people really have taken to the programming. But what I really like is, I think the best compliment I've heard is the fact that they're like, "Listen, we love paranormal TV shows, but we like the programs you guys are on just because we really like the way you three work together."
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like the ghosts and that part of the story is secondary. And I thought that was really touching.
That's nice.
Yeah. That they see our love and compassion for the field, and that what we love to do, and that almost supersedes, you know, the ghost part of it, and people like that storytelling. So I'm excited to be working out there and get a chance to do this. And Cindy, I mean, we rolled directly over from Holzer Files. We had a couple months off, and then we were put in Butte, Montana for almost 4 months.
I love Butte. Hi, Butte.
I do too. And we were there for almost 4 months filming and working with the community, talking to people in the community, such lovely people. It was so much fun to get out there and do that. And people ask, "Dave, what was your favorite show?" I still say Holzer Files because I just thought it was something totally different than other shows that were like that. I really enjoyed the Ghosts because of being able to be in one area for a long period of time and just see the way people accept it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was really cool. Do you have now, Cindy, I brought up the fact that you've also done a bunch of shock docs with Steve Shippey, but you've gone into some dark territory with serial killers.
Yeah.
Do you ever regret opening yourself up to that element of what we do?
No, not at all, actually, because it taught me a lot about people, about human beings, about psychology, about my own fears. I'll talk about Ed Gein, because that was, you know, one of the most terrifying, I think, you know, cases that I've been on, because Ed Gein did some really terrible things. So many horror movies have been based off of his crimes. Was it Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Silence of the Lambs? What else?
Psycho.
Psycho.
Yeah.
So because I, you know, had known who he was before I went to the investigation, and I had seen the movies, I already had a story in my mind, right? Like, so we went to his childhood home, which is no longer there, actually. We just went to the land where the farm was, the farmhouse. And I just thought that I would be encountering Ed Gein right away. But what happened was I first felt his mother, and that was a surprise. And I started seeing all of the abuse that he had endured as a kid. And then I started having compassion for the serial killer. And then I had to catch myself being like, wait, whoa, no, whoa. And then I was conflicted because I could see what happened to him. And then all of my like anger went towards the mom, and I was like, she was evil. And so you see what I mean? It's like you start having like your mind is just like, wait, where am I going? This is a weird experience. And it took me a few months to really like integrate it, because I realized like, you know, psychopaths are born with broken brains, right? And people wonder, is there inherent evil? And they'll talk about serial killers. And so if somebody comes in with a broken brain, are they inherently evil, or are they just born that way? Right?
Yeah.
And then I had to remember too, well, the mom, yeah, she was like really mentally unwell and hurt him a lot, but she had a mom who had a mom who had a mom who had whatever. Then there's the ancestral trauma. And so that case on its own, like really forced me to have a lot more compassion for all sides of all the things, instead of just looking at it from, I guess, like through the lens of you're evil because of this. Like, what else is going on there? What are the through lines?
Right. So let me ask you this then, Cindy. If there was evil influence on someone like Lizzie Borden, you know, there's concepts that she might be telling the truth. She doesn't believe she committed the murder. Did something influence her, take her over? For her to be able to murder two people in such short succession without being caught, without, you know, without anything that really kind of points to her other than being the daughter who was there, if she was demonically influenced, if you picked up on her spirit, would you pick up on an attachment to that spirit, do you think?
I mean, it could be, you know, people ask me all the time, what is a demon? What is evil? And it's like, gosh, I mean, I don't look at things in a literal way, or a dogmatic way. Like, I don't think that the devil is like I don't know how I would describe it, but other than it's like a lack of compassion, like zero compassion, no compassion to be found. So there has to be some energy with no compassion. And if something like that can latch on to you, of course you can do anything because you have no feelings. You don't feel compassion at all. And in that space, a lot of bad things can happen.
Yeah.
So when people say battling my demons, or you're battling your demons. You're battling the lack of compassion that you have for yourself. Because if you had compassion for yourself, there wouldn't be a demon there. You would be able to look at it and then be like, okay, maybe I shouldn't have done that, and I can find compassion for myself.
All right, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, I'm going to plant this seed with you, Shane. And I don't want you to answer it yet. We're going to take a break. We'll come back. Knowing what you know now about this awakening within you, if Cindy was unavailable and I said, hey, Shane, we have a family in need, they think the serial killer blah, blah, blah is haunting their home, would you want to go in knowing that it's not just any normal ghost, that you may be confronting a ghost of a serial killer? We'll ask Shane about that when we return. We got a lot more to discuss in just a little bit of time, so stay tuned for more Paranormal 60.
Have you ever felt like something or someone was trying to tell you something? That inner nudge, that quiet whisper from the universe, with intuition sharpened by years of spiritual connection and a deep-rooted gift. Winnie Schrader delivers readings that are compassionate, insightful, and shockingly accurate. Whether you're facing a crossroads healing from heartache, or just curious what the cards reveal, Winnie creates a safe, sacred space to explore your journey. This isn't fortune cookie fluff. This is honest, intuitive guidance from someone who's helped hundreds find clarity, closure, and confidence. If you've been waiting for a sign, this is it. Book your session now at lovelotustarot.com and take control of your journey. That's lovelotustarot.com. Winnie's sessions are personal, powerful, and often life-changing. That's lovelotustarot.com.
So if you're like me, and most of you are, you love a good UFO story. Well, Shadow Zine issue 8 is out. The Warren, Minnesota UFO Incident. I'm the author of the brand new edition of Shadow Zine. Every month, Jeff Belanger puts a task to one of his friends that are involved in the paranormal field to research, write, and discuss a case that has fascinated them. This is my case. The Warren, Minnesota UFO Incident, in my opinion, should be up there with Rendlesham Forest, with Roswell, because this case involves a police officer and one of the most controversial pieces of evidence left behind, an entire police car that still exists in the original condition from when it had the encounter with the UFO. And you can visit that anytime at the Warren Museum. And it is crazy. So we talk about the case, we talk about my personal investigation, and a piece of evidence that had remained hidden for over 40 years that I was lucky enough to bring to the forefront, and it's still confounding people. Shadowzine.com. You can go order your copies there, or if you'd like a signed copy, just go to paranormal60.com. That's paranormal60, paranormal60.com, and you'll be able to find my books and Shadow Zine there. I'll sign them and ship them out to you immediately if you're interested, so go check that out.
Oh, Dave, I got to bring something up I saw in the chat.
Yes.
Somebody's like, we don't know if Lizzie Borden murdered anyone. We're not saying that. It was a hypothetical statement.
Right.
So,
I mean, that's been a big part of history, is that it's believed Lizzie Borden was the murderer. I'm not so much of a believer. I did a shock doc myself called The Curse of Lizzie Borden. And it was funny when they put me together on the shock doc, they're like, hey, do you know a good medium you could work with on this? And I go, I think so. And I said, how about Cindy Kaza? And they're like, oh, no. She's working with Steve Shippey. Do you know another medium? And I'm like, how about Chris Fleming? All right. So I got to do that one with Chris, which I'm very pleased to have been able to work. I mean, I've been friends with the guy for over 20 years, and that's the first time we got to work on TV together. So I was very excited about being in an investigation that way. I wish you would have been there, because I would have liked to have seen your take on the kind of things that were taking place there. And if you guys haven't seen The Curse of Lizzie Borden, it's one of my favorite investigations, period, just because it's so weird and so many bizarre things happen. And Cindy, again, was there for me after my encounter, because during the
automatic writing.
Yeah, some automatic writing took place that really unnerved the hell out of me.
I just keep replaying when you bent over and the orb came out of your butt.
No, that wasn't me. That was the young lady that was part of our show.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, oh, I heard that. She bent over and you see an orb jut across the room, and we all burst out laughing. Yeah, that was just bad.
Orbs aren't real.
Yeah, proof that, well, ghostly orbs aren't real. But obviously gas can be caught on film. So Cindy's not available. Dave Schrader gets a phone call. Dave, I own a house in blah, 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 and I believe it's haunted by the ghost of this serial killer. He lived next door. They found 2 bodies buried in my yard and his yard, and I believe it's his body or his soul that's here. Being more open than you've ever been psychically, would you want to be in that environment? Would you be willing to go investigate that, knowing that you may be confronting the spirit of a serial killer?
Would I want to be in that environment? I don't know. Like I said, I'm still a baby to all of this, but I think if a family was affected, I would do what I had to do. If there was a way that I could lend some insight or some help, I would do it. I wouldn't be jumping for joy to go and want to do it, but I would do it, I think, if it came to a family that was needing insight or help.
See, that's where I think that's the line I draw for myself is, if we're going in to investigate, our goal has always been empathy for the spirits. Going in for people that are victims of trauma and sometimes horrendous deaths, I don't know that I would want to put myself in knowing that there's a good chance I'm going to encounter a serial killer's ghost. I don't know how that would, well, listen, there's some weird stuff that happens in Paranormal Mysteries. And like I said, I confront the possibility of a ghostly boogeyman that had been with me since childhood. And that was weird enough. And I that made me uncomfortable enough to know I don't think I would actively pursue those. So now that I know you're willing to, Shane, when I get that call, I'll let you and Cindy go take it.
I didn't say I was willing. I just said that I would very hesitantly do it if I needed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What about that, Cindy? When you come across a serial killer's ghost, is it really a fully realized version of them, or do you believe that it is nothing more than just a slice of that broken soul left behind?
Well, see, let me talk about Danny Rowling, because that investigation was very scary for me too, because I could feel his manipulation. And at the time I didn't know that that's what I was feeling. So basically, like, I would hear him talk to me, and he would be talking like he didn't know what happened and that it wasn't who he was. And it was like he was feeling sorry for himself. And it was like this, it's kind of like a little kid feeling sorry for himself, right? Having a pity party. And then that would kind of pull me, the empath, towards having, compassion, just being like, oh my God, what happened to you? And then I could feel him switch. So I was like, oh, that's how he lures people in. He's very manipulative. Like, he was very good at pretending to be something that he was not. And, and that was scary, because at the time I didn't know that that's what was happening. So it's like this, it's like when you don't know what you're really experiencing, it feels terrifying. But once you have a handle on what's going on, then you can approach it from a different angle and be like, don't mess with me. Don't manipulate me. I see you. You can't mess with me. But in the moment, you don't always know that that's what's happening. Right?
Now, I know for season 2, we're already looking at new stories and cases. And Shane and I have spoken again off without Cindy, so she's not influenced, on a couple of ideas that we had that we think would be impactful episodes. But you know what I would love to do in a season 3? I just think it'd be fascinating as hell, is if the 3 of us go investigate crimes based on monsters, crimes based on werewolf murders, witch murders.
The Mothman.
Mothman. Yeah, I'd love to go in there and just investigate some of these cases to see what we can encounter in these scenarios. Vampire people that think they're vampires, people that believe they were werewolves, that did horrific things. It'd be interesting to see how that comes through, especially for you, Cindy. I mean, if you went in there and didn't know this guy thought he was a werewolf, would you see a beastly image, or would you see a man who thinks he's a werewolf?
I mean, look, it could be either. But I just watched this documentary called, The Source Family or something. It's about this cult in the 70s. And the reason I'm talking about this is because they, at one point in the cult, they were doing a lot of rituals. So they weren't like witches necessarily, but they would try out different things. And so they were like opening portals and experimenting with magic. And there were like a couple people in the documentary that were like, yeah, when we were all doing these rituals together, we like opened up this portal and we saw vampires, we saw all these things. And I was like, that's interesting. Were you on LSD? Were you eating mushrooms? Or did you literally just like see something, an interdimensional being coming in? And what is that? It just kind of made me think, because they were so sure. They're like, no, it sounds crazy, but we actually saw these beings. So I don't know. I'm open to all of it.
The future is going to be bonkers, because I follow a lot of different trend people on TikTok and other formats, because I like their content. But there are a few people I know who have legitimately had their teeth replaced with fangs. And if and when they end up in the spirit world, are they going to be projecting themselves with vampire fangs? Are we going to start thinking we're seeing vampire ghosts?
I mean, where did the whole idea come from to begin with? Who did it start with? Because it's been going on for a long time.
Well,
right?
A lot of that came from the grave robbers, right? Because these grave robbers, which these laws are so crazy. When I was over in Europe, I was learning about this. We were walking around in Greyfriars Cemetery, which is where J.K. Rowling sat at, I think it was like the Brass Elephant, was like this little restaurant coffee house. And she would walk through the cemetery and she got names for some of her Harry Potter characters, including Tom Riddle, aka Voldemort. She got these names from inside the cemetery, but the cemetery was well known for grave robbing. And the weird thing I never realized was it was against the law to break in and steal, like If I went in and took Cindy's earrings and her necklace, I could go to jail. If I stripped her naked and took her body, I could get away. That is so weird to me.
Take up the jewelry and leave it, and you just take the body instead.
Yeah, clothes, any kind of personal effect had to be left behind, and the body would be taken, and they would be sold to these things. But what would happen is we had such a bad grasp of medical issues. Like there are still people that believe that our fingernails continue to grow and our hair grows after death, and that's not true. What happens is that as you kind of dehydrate,
everything looks longer.
Yeah, your skin tightens and your fingers draw back, so your fingernails look like they've grown, and it's really just the skin and everything pulling back from these. And then so many people died of things like consumption, which was tuberculosis. And when they would open up the graves, there would be what appeared to be fresh blood in the mouth of these people.
Yeah.
So they assumed, oh my God, that woman just got really ill the other day in town. She must be a vampire. And they would freak out about these things.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that's where the germination for vampires really kind of stemmed from. But now that there are people legitimately tattooing their eyes black,
it's so weird,
putting in fangs, doing things to make themselves look like monsters, how are we going to perceive them?
You're right, because you're right.
That's pretty true.
That's a really good point, Dave. That's an excellent point.
It's going to be crazy. Guys, I'm so psyched and excited to be back and working with you two. And I hope that, we had 23 remarkable episodes of the Holzer Files. Cindy and I were very lucky to go on and do, I think, 10 episodes of Ghost of Devil's Perch together. Shane did another 6 episodes of 28 Days Haunted. We've been able to interact on other shows, do other things. I'm glad that we're coming back into each other's world and that we can continue this. And I hope we're able to do this for our 5th and 10th anniversary of Paranormal Mysteries and continue to go on. Cindy, start with you as we make our way out. What's going on in your world? How can people keep up with you? Where can they see you? What can they do?
Okay, so you can find me at cindykaza.com. All of my events are there, my classes, my art. I'm on social media. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, or X, TikTok, all the things. I'm doing a lot of live events until the end of the year, so you can catch me at one of my live events. And then please come see the 3 of us. Will be in Napanoch, New York, and then in Lexington, Kentucky. So, yeah.
Very cool. Shane, got anything going on in your world right now?
Oh man, so much. So you can find me on officialshanepittman.com. All of my stuff is there. Also, you can find me at streambeacontv.com, which is very important because if you want to see 3, 4, 5, 6 seasons, we really need you to show up and show out, especially this Friday for the premiere. Because we're still looking at the analytics and stuff. We get the creative control to bring the show back and do whatever we want to do. But it's like I said before, we're listening to the viewer. We're listening to you. If we see that you want it and you want it to continue, then we'll make it happen and we will do that. And we're doing a show. I'm producing a show for Jack Osborne. It's called American Paranormal. It's Jack Osborne and Serena, DC. And they're investigating a bunch of cool cases right now that we're excited to bring to you, and that's going to be exclusively on Beacon TV as well. So,
and I think it's BS that you won't tell me where, just because I told you I want to show up in a ghost costume. So at some point, Jack has to pull my mask off and say, "It's Old Man Schrader from the Holzer Files." Is that asking so much, Shane? Just give me that one piece.
Maybe.
All right. That'll work. And again, our show premieres this Friday, Paranormal Mysteries. And here's the exciting thing, folks. It's one new episode every Friday, starting this Friday, all the way through October. Watch our season finale on Halloween. It's going to be amazing, and we hope you'll check it out. I'll also be on the Jason Show this Friday. So for those of you around the nation that watch the Jason Show, or for those of you that don't, check your local listings, see where the Jason Show is playing, and you'll be able to see some clips, and I'll be talking about the show and some other cool stuff. I also have one other very cool piece of information coming out this week. I am part of a film called Outer Edge. It is a documentary film that takes a different look at the paranormal, more from the stories of the people that experience it, chase it, and are seeking answers. And I was very excited to be a part of this. We shot most of it in the great state of Minnesota. There was a little bit of it that we shot in other places, but it gives you a great kind of stepping off point, and it was just accepted to the Twin Cities Film Festival. It'll be airing here in Minnesota at the Twin Cities Film Festival on, I believe it's October 18th. It'll be at the West End Theaters that night. There'll be a red carpet event. We'll do the screening and then a Q&A afterwards. And I would love for you guys to be there. Hit me up. I can let you know when the tickets go on sale, because there's only about 138 seats. And with my family alone, that's going to take up close to 100 of the seats. So you're going to want to get in early, get your tickets, but come on out and see me at the Outer Edge. And that'll be in October. A lot of fun stuff coming up, a lot of good times. Shane, Cindy, I love you guys so much. Thank you
for buddy. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you very much, everybody. And let me tell you this, right? It's been a wild ride, and I'm so glad that I've got a chance to spend it with these two. From reliving our weirdest and wildest moments, some of the most unnerving things that we've encountered, from Holzer Files to Ghosts of Devil's Perch, 28 Days Haunted, and now giving you the inside scoop on our brand new project, Paranormal Mysteries. It's clear one truth remains. The unexplained still calls us back again and again. And I want to thank Cindy Kaza and Shane Pittman for joining me tonight, and all of you, my darklings, for being part of this continuing adventure into the unknown. May the darkness of this world be just a little brighter with the knowledge and stories that we share here each week. Until next time, I'm Dave Schrader, and thank you for joining me, because together this is our Paranormal 60. All right, Shane, time to head back down to the basement.